want to tell you something nobody told me when I was starting out. The game isn't about money. It never was. Two people can lose everything on the same day. One of them rebuilds an empire. The other never recovers. I've watched it happen. The difference is never what you think. It's not talent. It's not connections. It's not even timing. It's what you choose to see when everything falls apart. That's the whole game right there. I used to walk past opportunities every single day. Not because they weren't there, because I hadn't trained myself to recognize what they looked like. The wealthy don't have a secret. They have a lens. And once you understand how that lens works, you cannot unsee what it shows you. I'm going to show you exactly how I think. Not what I did, how I think. Because the thinking is what built everything you see behind me. This didn't happen because I was lucky. Luck is what people call it when they don't want to study the pattern. I studied the pattern. There is a stillness that comes when you stop reacting to the world and start reading it. I want you to feel that stillness by the end of this. Opportunity doesn't announce itself. It shows up dressed as a problem, a delay, a detour. I've learned to get excited when things go wrong. The question I want you sitting with isn't whether opportunity exists. It always does. The question is your mind trained to catch it when it arrives? I grew up being taught to protect what I had. Hold on tight. Don't risk it. Play it safe. That advice cost me years I'll never get back. Scarcity thinking is a prison with no bars. You don't see the walls. You just find yourself never moving forward and never understanding why. When I operated from fear, my brain was always scanning for what could go wrong. And I found it. Every time. Because that's what I was looking for. I still feel risk. I feel it every time. The difference now is I don't let the feeling make the decision. That took years to learn. I stopped asking what could go wrong. I started asking what could go right, and how do I place myself precisely where that upside is going to land. Scarcity is a story. Abundance is also a story. I chose a better story. Then I lived inside it until it became the only reality I knew. You don't think your way into a different life. You act your way in. You build, you adjust, and slowly, the world bends toward what you've committed to. Every shift in my fortune started as a mindset shift first. Not a strategy. A decision to stop seeing the world as something happening to me. I learned to convert anxiety into analysis. Every fear became a question. What is this protecting me from? And is that protection worth the price I'm paying for it? The scarcity trap is real. It caught me. It catches brilliant people every single day. But the exit is always the same door. One deliberate decision to think bigger. I stopped complaining about problems the day I realized every massive problem is a massive opportunity, just waiting for someone patient enough to read it correctly. The greatest builders didn't love their industries. They loved that millions of people were frustrated. That frustration was a blueprint. They just learned to read blueprints. I walk through the same broken world as everyone else. Same economy, same headlines. I just stopped carrying a complaint. I've noticed something. The size of your income is almost always proportional to the size of the problem you're solving. I decided to stop solving small problems. When something frustrates me deeply now, I get interested. That frustration is a signal. It's pointing at a market that hasn't been served well enough yet. Most people experience a problem and want it fixed. I experience a problem and immediately ask, how many other people are sitting with this exact same pain right now? Problems stopped being obstacles for me a long time ago. Now they're billboards, and every billboard is pointing at a customer, waiting for someone to show up. You don't need a revolutionary idea, you need a painful problem, and the discipline to solve it better than anyone who has ever tried before you. I read the news differently than most people. I'm not looking for what's happening, I'm looking for what's about to be needed. There's always a gap. The world will always have problems. I simply decided, a long time ago, that I would be on the side that profits from solving them, not the side that suffers from ignoring them. People think I protect my money. What I actually protect obsessively is my attention. Money can be remade. Time and focus, once spent, are gone permanently. Distraction is the most expensive thing most people buy, and they purchase it willingly, every single day, without ever once seeing the bill they're running up. My mind is curated, ruthlessly, deliberately, without apology. I am careful about what I consume, who I spend time with, and what conversations I allow into my thinking. Your environment shapes what you're capable of seeing. I learned that early. I put myself around builders, and eventually I couldn't stop seeing things to build. I choose conversations the way a builder chooses materials. Every input either strengthens the structure I'm building, or quietly, invisibly, weakens it. People mistake my stillness for passivity. It's the opposite. The quieter I am, the more I'm hearing. The mind that is calm catches what the noisy mind will always miss. I don't consume everything. I am selective. I don't read the news to feel informed. I study markets to stay ahead. Those are completely different activities. What you focus on expands. I decided to point my attention at opportunity, not at threat, not at comparison. Guard your mental environment, not because the world is dangerous, but because your mind is the most valuable asset you will ever own. Treat it accordingly. The habit that held me back longer than anything else wasn't fear of failure, it was waiting. Waiting to feel ready. I wasted years on that wait. Clarity never came before I acted. It came because I acted. Every time. I've never once thought my way into certainty. I've always built my way there. My best decisions were made before I had all the information. Because I understood something. An imperfect start is infinitely more valuable than a perfect plan that never launches. Every company I've built started as an incomplete idea in motion. The motion is what completed it. You cannot steer a parked car. You have to start moving first. This isn't recklessness, I want to be clear about that. This is understanding that inaction compounds, just like interest does silently, invisibly, and with devastating long-term consequences. The investors and founders I most admire all have one thing in common. And the moving is exactly what made them ready. There's no other way. The world rewards the ones who move, not the ones who plan the longest. The ones who started with what they had and figured out the rest on the way up. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the market to settle. The gate has been open this entire time. I know because I stood outside it too, longer than I should have. You are not waiting for the right moment. You are the right moment. The only variable that was ever missing was your decision. Make it. I don't measure opportunity in days or weeks. I measure it in decades. My patience isn't passivity. It's the most aggressive strategy I've ever used. When you extend your time horizon, your whole world changes. A market crash becomes a sale. A terrible year becomes the year you learned everything that mattered. That's why I'm calm when others panic. I am not playing the same game, I never have been. And once you understand the long game, you stop fearing the short-term noise entirely. The seeds I'm planting today won't bloom for 5, 10, maybe 20 years. I don't need to see the harvest to believe in what I'm building. Short-term thinking is the most common form of self-sabotage I've ever witnessed. It trades futures for comfort, it trades legacies for the immediate, and it costs everything. The long game is not glamorous. Nobody photographs the quiet discipline. Nobody documents the repeated decisions made alone. They only show up for the result and call it overnight success. I don't quit when things get hard, because I'm not measuring the hard moment, I'm measuring the decade. And in a decade, this moment will be barely a sentence in a much longer story. Opportunity is not rare. What's rare is the trained mind, the patient heart, and the courage to move when it finally arrives. So here's what I want you to sit with tonight. What opportunity are you walking past right now because you're too focused on the obstacles? I didn't get a different world than you. I made a different decision to see it differently. That decision is available to you right now. The only question is whether you'll make it. Subscribe. Not because I asked, because you just realized you've been thinking too small. And you're not done yet. If this changed how you see things even slightly, hit like. That's all it takes to tell me this was worth your time. Comment one word below. Just one, describing how you see opportunity now versus when you press play.